to experimenting with live broadcast, well, we're having a little difficulty. But after having just seen Star Trek Beyond for the second time, I am making this video to tell you guys all about what I thought. And I've noticed that since I saw Star Trek Beyond the first time in the embargo with the 2 panels on the side that show more data and show more film, that this time I noticed a lot more because there wasn't that distraction of the other 2 panels. And that's not to say that the other 2 panels weren't interesting the first time, but I did notice a lot more this time because I wasn't distracted by the panels. So my obsession of the day is Hikaru Sulu, and I'm trying to figure out how he got married and had a kid that old when they're trying to do their 5-year journey. Please, everyone, let me know what you think, because I have no idea how to figure that one out. But the whole reason that I went to go see this movie in the first place tonight was because I was taking some of the comments on my second video to heart, where Mike was telling me how it was kind of illogical, ironically, that I had all these different opinions about Spock, and yet they kind of waffle, and not only do they waffle, but they change, and sometimes I'm not even certain about how I feel about Spock. But today I watched Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Beyond and Star Trek Into Darkness. Not in that order, because I did them in the order that we found them, or the order that we got them. And I wanted to see the arc of Spock's character. I wanted to see if this emotionalness is just something that appeared out of nowhere, or not even nowhere, but just in this movie, or is it something that his character was building up to this entire time? Because I was just trying to figure that out, because I didn't know whether or not I was just not liking it because of the fact that he's so emotional this time, or maybe embracing it because of the fact that he gains this emotion over the course of the 3 movies. So, my real issue, I guess, was that when I tried to watch 2009, my electronic credit did not work. And I got it from Paramount. And I guess because the internet doesn't work very well around here, it just did not want to take. And it kept shutting off, and eventually it told me you're running too many concurrent streams, and I was like, oh, screw this. So I ordered it on Amazon. And the really cool thing about ordering it on Amazon is there was like an extra 30 minutes that I did not know existed. I heard or saw all these different profiles of how they came about to having certain actors play certain characters. So it was like, how did Spock get played by Zachary Quinto? And how did Chris Pine end up being Kirk? And when I saw the section on Zachary Quinto and Leonard Nimoy, it literally made me fall in love with Zachary Quinto's Spock all over again. I just did not know that I loved Spock that much. And it was because Leonard Nimoy decided that he saw so much talent and resemblance in Zachary Quinto that he decided to say that's a great person for the part, and teach him everything he knew about how to be Spock. And Spock, Zachary Quinto, decided that he needed guidance on how not to disappoint everyone, because Spock Prime, or the original series Spock, played by Leonard Nimoy, is so revered and is somebody who we all look up to. Or not we all, but many, many Trekkies adore. And sometimes we find it hard when we're looking at a different actor playing that same character. That being said, Zachary Quinto as Spock, I watched all 3 films in order and discovered that while Spock may have his emotional moments, Zachary Quinto does a pretty good job keeping the logic and the emotion in check, and not letting the different sides get the better of him, I guess, or in learning the balance between the two. I mean, yeah, Spock gets angry quite a bit, and not only that, but he gets happy too, and he learns from movie 1 to movie 3 how to be more socially appropriate with humans, which I think is really funny, especially with Uhura, which kind of makes me look up to him as somebody with autism, but especially with Uhura, because in the first movie, when he finds out, or when he sees his planet has been destroyed, Uhura goes to give him a hug, and he's kind of standing there with his arms sticking out, not really knowing what to do, and kind of awkwardly hugging her, and then he just gives into his emotions and collapses into her hug. And yeah, he's still trying to learn how to control the difference between logic and emotion, or finding a balance between the two. But in Star Trek Beyond, he at the very end says something like, "I thought it would be more pleasing to be engaging socially with you." So he's learned that it's good to want to interact with other people, and especially Uhura is going to expect time from him. But I think the funniest Zachary Quinto Spock moment that I saw was in Into Darkness. Spock is asking Uhura to open up a comm channel to New Vulcan. And he doesn't say open up a comm channel to New Vulcan. He says, open up a comm channel to New Vulcan, please. He doesn't say please to anyone else when giving a direction on the bridge. But to Uhura, he says please. And I don't know if the writers intended that or they didn't, but I found that reminiscent of Spock learning his social graces and learning human customs. And I get why his ability to suppress emotions is not as well versed as the original series Spock. But then again, there's so much emotional trauma going on in almost every single movie that there's no way he could suppress all those emotions. In the first one, in Star Trek 2009, he loses his mother and his planet. In Star Trek Into Darkness, he loses his best friend. And last one, in the newest one, he fears he's going to lose Uhura. And he's caught between a rock and a hard place because he doesn't know whether he should preserve his culture, especially since Spock Prime is past, or if you should be with Uhura. And for him, that's a really hard decision. And he made the decision to stay with Starfleet, and therefore I'm guessing to stay with Uhura because he told Uhura that he wants to engage socially with her. But he's also very awkward. He frequently has times when he's asked something and he says that wasn't my intention, or I didn't get that, or that's not what I meant. And he frequently messes up the things he's going to say. So I've been going on for 11 and a half minutes now, and it's very late. And nobody's going to log on because so far I've had 0 people watching. Hopefully this video will stay archived long enough for people to see it, and if not, I will record a new one tomorrow or the next day. But the really cool thing that happened to me is within the last couple of days I met my brother Chris. Well, I talked to him at least. And he's a Trekkie too. And he loves Worf, which is a little weird, but maybe he'll guest star and tell me later why he loves Worf so much. But also, the first time we went to see Star Trek Beyond, I was with all my Star Trek meetup friends, and we all went together, and there was 7 or 8 of us, and it's pretty interesting. But having gone by myself, without any people, without knowing anyone who was going to go see the movie with me, it's actually quite interesting because I ended up talking to the people next to me about Star Trek and about this video podcast and about all these other things. I don't know. I think we're just a community that embraces people when they're by themselves. Or maybe not, but that's fine. And I thought it was interesting and it was kind of sweet. And furthermore, one of them might want to come to the Star Trek meetup group, which I think is kind of cool because I belong to that group. And go there every other Saturday just so I can hang out with people and talk Star Trek. But now it's 1:20 in the morning and I need to be up at like 6:30. So I will see you all next time. Live long and prosper.